The Artemis campaign of missions have set such an ambitious goal for humanity that it's inspiring contributions from around the globe. Not just one nation is inspired and moved by this, but nations from around the globe are coming together.
I am so excited to be joined on Primetime Local News today by Colonel Jeremy Hansen, Canadian astronaut. Jeremy, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, congratulations on being selected as part of the Artemis II crew. I can't even imagine how exciting this is for you, Jeremy. Tell me about your reaction to all this happening.
Well, I guess, very surprised that I have this opportunity, really proud of Canada. I think is the most overwhelming emotion I have. I know I didn't do this on my own. I had to arrive with the right background and skill sets and training to do this. But the reason I have this opportunity to fly around the moon is because of thousands of Canadians over decades who put in the effort to provide a very credible contribution to the international collaboration that allows us to be highlighted on the world stage and part of Artemis II mission.
Tell me about the mission itself, Jeremy. When will it happen, and what are some of the things that you guys will be doing on this mission?
Yeah, so the Artemis II mission is a really unique mission in that it's the first time the SLS, this enormous rocket, will fly with humans on it. It has a new spacecraft on top called the Orion capsule, and that will be the crew that's testing that out. It's a crew of 4. No earlier than the end of 2024 is when this test flight could happen. We'll spend the next 18 months or so getting ready for that mission. And the whole goal of this mission is to test this new spacecraft, put humans on it for the first time, make sure it works in Earth orbit, and then take it out around the moon, navigate around the moon, come back to Earth. It'll be about a 10-day trip. And we will stress the vehicle as much as we can on this first mission to buy down the risk for future Artemis missions, which are taking humans back to the surface of the moon, which is really exciting to be a part of this new program to push us back out into deep space. And, this really is just a next step. This will very soon be eclipsed by people walking on the moon. We're building the Lunar Gateway, a station around the moon, and eventually we're planning to go to Mars. So we have big ambitions.
So what do you do between now and the mission date, Jeremy? What kind of training do you and your crew do to get prepared for this?
Yeah, so like with any test program, which is really what this is, you spend a lot of time with the engineers looking at the systems, how they're designed, co-creating the procedures that we're going to use to test and stress these systems. And so it's not like you go to Artemis school, it's more like you create the plan for this mission together to figure out what we have to do to get out there and get back safely.
Can you even believe that this is happening? I mean, it must be just incredible to think that you are going to be flying around the moon. I mean, as a child, people dream of this sort of thing, but does it seem like it's not kind of real, or because you've put so much effort into it, it's happening and it's very real in your mind?
Yeah, I understand the perspective you're painting there completely, but for me, it is very real. I've been living and breathing this for, almost 14 years. And to know this team, and, it's Canada, it's the United States, it's the rest of the international partnership, like to understand what this team is capable of, it's not as surprising to me as it may be to others. Now, the fact that Canada has been invited to go on the first mission, I hope Canadians are proud of that. That's not trivial, and it's by design. And it's because our innovators, our leaders, our academics, our scientists, our engineers, they made this a possibility. We're doing some incredible work on building the next generation of space robotics, Canadarm3. No one else has done deep space robotics like this, like what we need to do to support human space exploration. And we're taking on that challenge. We're working on food and health in a new way. We're trying to leverage the focus of space and the expertise across our country with respect to delivering healthcare in remote parts of the country, growing food in the Canadian Arctic. We're trying to leverage that expertise, bring the space focus together with that, and take that with the international partnership to the moon and onto Mars. And there's some really great synergies here to bring benefits for Canadians back to the planet.
You spent many years at Fort Wayne Cold Lake in this area. Jeremy, can you tell me a little bit about your time and your experience there? And you have a lot of people in this area that are rooting for you and have made a number of comments on our page talking about how they knew you or knew of you. So tell me a little bit about your time in Cold Lake.
Yeah, 7 tremendous years in Cold Lake. I love Cold Lake. When we left Cold Lake, we often remark, and still today we miss it. And the reason is not the cold weather. The reason is the people. And we had a great community feel during our time in Cold Lake. My wife's obstetrician, gynecologist. We were very much knit into the community. She was a big part of supporting Cold Lake. Um, I was never the hero of Cold Lake. My wife always was, and but it's a big part of our family and our history. All our children were born while we were during those 7 years, and so Cold Lake will always be near and dear to our heart.
Can you tell me what advice you have for kids now who are looking at what you're going to be doing and could be on that future mission to walk on the moon or possibly go to Mars? Where do they get started, and how do they, really follow their dreams to get to the point where you are at?
Yeah. If I was to boil it down to something really quick, it is that you need to know what you want, set goals. They don't have to be career goals. They could be, but just set goals at any point in your life. Know what you want to achieve, and then do something really important. This is the secret sauce. Tell other people. If you keep it inside yourself, you will not achieve them. You have to tell others. When I was a young Canadian growing up on a farm, I told people I wanted to be a space explorer. I didn't really know what that meant, but I knew I wanted to go to space. I told people that, and they are the ones who pushed me and guided me along. That led my dad to say, "Why don't you join Air Cadets?" Air Cadets changed my life. It gave me self-confidence, taught me to be a good Canadian citizen, taught me leadership. It was Air Cadets who took a shy young farm boy and made me ready to join the Royal Canadian Air Force and follow that path. And so set goals, share them with others. You don't do anything of significance on your own. It's other people that will lift you up.
Well, Colonel Hansen, thank you so much for speaking with us today. Good luck with everything over the next year here, and we can't wait to see what happens as the Artemis II crew goes out on your mission. Thank you so much again for speaking with us.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to share it. I appreciate my time, the formative years for me in the Cold Lake area. And I hope Canadians are as proud as I am of them that we're part of this mission to go back to the moon.
We are ready.
We are going
to the moon.
for all humanity.
We are Artemis.